Hey, gun people! If you want to know how to spell that word, look it up. Alright, so I just did a video on the minor muscle group for the magazine pull and trigger control. So hopefully I lost some dummies who got their pink panties in a knot and ran away because he didn't agree with me and he made sense and I don't like sense. I'm going to go back to the people I like. Alright, whatever. So this video is about people asking, how can you train to simulate real world? What's the best way to stress yourself out in your training to help you in a real world situation? Well, my real answer, people freaking say I'm crazy, but that's okay. Unless I can threaten your life or hang you off the side of a freaking, tie a rope to you and throw you off a building and make you hang, or do something that just invokes that fight or flight, that fear response, that hi Moki! Moki's not coming over here today, he's kind of hanging out by the horse trailer. Unless I can invoke that response, I just can't manipulate and replicate that all the things that happen in fight or flight. If you read my fight or flight page, the list is huge. I mean, the adrenaline, the eyes, the auditory exclusion, the tremors, the large muscle groups, the loss of feeling in hands, I mean, the inability for long-term memory, short-term, I mean, all the things that heart rate jumps up 200 beats per second, blood pressure shoots through the roof, your nostrils expand, you suck in more. I mean, there's just so much. How do you replicate that to see if you're going to do good? You know what? You train the best you can. I did a lot of things that were unorthodox. I think unorthodox training is good. I don't think you ought to do negative training. I mean, negative training reinforces bad procedure in a real fight. So I'm not a big negative training guy. But, and that's just a term I made up. I don't know if you look it up or if there's someone out there that, it's not called negative training. It's called counterintuitive training. Whatever, you freaking idiots. So, to me, in order to train, if you want to plan for survival, in my opinion, don't be coming here telling me, well, freaking Asub Abdul Labab, whatever, you know, the guy that's been around forever that everybody thinks is a freaking gang guy. Look, he's got some good experience. He's testified in court. I don't watch the guy that much, but some of his techniques I agree with. A couple of them I'm like, I can take it or leave it. So, I'm not trying to pick on anybody's name here. It's just everybody wants to throw out everybody's name as the one guy. I'm not the one guy, and no one else is. And neither are you. Even though you know a SEAL who knows a SEAL who has a cousin that was deployed with a SEAL, you're not the guy. So, training in to try and it's crazy, Cass. I'll back up my truck. Moki, what are you doing, boy? Get over here and say hi to YouTubies. They want to say hi. Come here. Come on. In order to get your heart rate at 200 beats or higher, man, you better be willing to work out. Because that's 200 beats to 212 is what people usually shoot up to when they're in a critical life-threatening incident when they fire their gun. That's a high heartbeat. I mean, that's well over 3 times. I mean, if you're at 60, 180 is 3 times, right? 60, 60, 120, 60, 180. Yeah, 3 times at 180. So you try and get your resting heartbeat at over 3 times what it is. That will help. But that's only one thing. You can't enact your adrenaline pump. You can't enact your sympathetic nervous system to start shooting and cutting off blood supply. But if you get your heartbeat up to 200, if you're running and you're so out of breath, I mean, some dude driving by looking at my flag. Carry on! Come and take it! Quit flying by my house, big dummy! If you can get your heart rate up, you're probably as best as you're going to get without other things. Because your heart rate going up is going to suck blood, it's going to make you suck oxygen. I mean, most people nowadays, I don't know, if you haven't ran and exercised till you've thrown up, you don't get it. But if you really want to get to where you think that you're going to induce stress, go out there and run till you throw up. And then as soon as you throw up and you feel like crap and you're out of breath and you're trying to suck oxygen while you're throwing up and you keep running, At that point, you're probably pretty good. If you draw your gun, you can start shooting. People be like, well, damn, Rick, that's stupid. You can't go out there and throw up and shoot. Well, yeah, you can. And I'm telling you, if you get your heart rate up, if you enact that body, that survival skill, you're trying to suck oxygen, you're throwing up, and you're doing it, that's going to be pretty close. Hi, Moki. He's still deciding on whether he wants to come out or not. Another thing that you could do, and here's where it'll be unorthodox, is have somebody shoot you up with some speed or some sort of upper that just freaking jacks your heart rate up and gives you a huge stimulant that, you know, your eyes freaking dilate, your heart goes up, you're pinging, you're on crank. You know, somebody on crank, they're probably dealing with what you deal with in a stressful incident. Hey, Wokey! He knows I want him to come over, so he's not going to come over. You're going to be in big trouble. The YouTubers want to say hi to you. You better get your butt over here. Hang on, let me grab his cat. You're going to be in big trouble. Why didn't you come over? Why do you make me walk out of camera? Because YouTubers want to say hi to you. You're going to get big spanking. There's YouTubers that like you. Hi, Moki. Hi. Hi, Moki. Hi, little Moki. Sit up on your little kingdom. Dun da da. And don't be sending me hate mail for grabbing his tail. He likes it when I set him down with his tail. Shut up. Damn people. Hi, Moki. It's okay. Crazy YouTube people. So somebody on crank, they're going to be close to feeling the euphoria, the kind of loss of time, the everything's going faster, and they're paranoid and they're shaking. And you know what? Somebody on crank probably ain't going to do too good in the shooting. Okay, they're not going to feel pain. Their heart rate's going to be nice and high. They're probably going to lose feeling in their finger and toes because the blood's rushing to all their major muscle groups because their heart's beating so fast. Their heart rate's going to be up. Blood pressure's going to be up. But do you want to do crank to go out there and train? No, I'm not saying that's some idiot. He said you should do crank to train. Well, you're a freaking idiot. And if that's what you heard, I don't even know why the hell you're here. But yeah, I do, because you ain't got no freaking life. Anyway, so, I mean, to train, you have to try and simulate. And it's just, you know, I've done things that squirt on water on people to make sure they can shoot in the rain, because if they have glasses or the water gets in their eyes, they're trying to shoot and they're trying to clear with their gun. And I know somebody will be like, oh, the water got in his eyes and he cleared it. He didn't know where his gun was, and that's not safe. Shut up, you freaking idiots. You can't control the world around you if it rains or whatever. So I've squirted people with hoses. I've thrown gravel and dust at them while they're shooting. I've walked up behind them and shot next to their head at an angle. They're shooting this way, and I'll come up behind them and shoot so they'll feel the percussion of my gun. All I can try and do is distract them as much as I can, so they're like, shit, I'm getting freaking filings and brass and heat and percussion, rains in my eyes, dust and rocks are hitting me, there's a siren behind me, I'm out of breath, and I have to focus and say, I don't care about all that. I have to ignore everything around me and go, you know what? What's important is I kill this guy before he kills me. And that's probably the best way that you can simulate training. I'm not saying those techniques, anything. There's one dude, I've seen a couple of his videos that people have sent me. He's got a beard and he's freaking high tense. I mean, it's like a red beard and it comes out here. He always dresses in his gear. He's like, get some, or yeah, or, I mean, he's just, to me, he's totally on roids and he's maxed out. But he flips a big wheel before he shoots. He drags center blocks and ropes. And on this one video, I mean, and everything he did stressed out his body to get his heart rate up, to get him sucking oxygen, to maybe get his body, you know, when you're running, if you ran a lot, when you hit that wall, and they say it's kind of an endorphin high a little bit, you hit that wall and you're right before you quit, it always gets darkest before the light comes out, right before you're about, shit, I can't go anymore, I'm about dead. Then all of a sudden you kind of get past that wall and you get in a rhythm and it's like, okay, cool, I'm on it. And you keep going. That's kind of what you need to do to simulate stress. But anybody that tells you I'm simulating exactly what happens without giving you the endorphins that your body puts out, the stimulants, getting your heart rate up to 200. You're not gonna do it until you experience. That's why experience is the best teacher. That's why these idiots who are claiming to go to all these training classes talking about, oh, the cops should have done this, and the cops, they've never been out there, and they don't understand the complexity of listening to the radio, keeping safe, looking out for other officers, directing officers in, knowing where you're at, evaluating the suspect, not getting shot, making sure area clear, telling other people to shut up and get back so they don't get shot. They don't understand the complexity of all that, and they come out here and go, well, I went through training, and my brother's a cop, and he said, I don't give a shit what your brother, uncle, daddy said. Doesn't matter. I don't even know who the hell they are. They could be some damn ticket writer that eats donuts every morning and writes tickets to little blue hairs in a school zone. I don't care what some cop says. I care what somebody does. And I say that about everybody who wants to come and call me racist because I'm picking on black people. I don't care about someone's color. I care about their behavior, what comes out of their mouth, their actions. That's my problem. That's how I judge people. And I know that the liberals will tell you, you shouldn't be judgmental. You should be tolerant. We should love everybody. And just because somebody acts like a freakazoid and is tearing shit up, you shouldn't judge them. You should go over and give them a hug. Well, you're a freaking idiot. So, best way to simulate training, hey, you know what? The only thing I can say that most people go to is to get your heart rate up a little bit. But to get your heart rate to 200, man, it's tough. I mean, I don't even know if I've ever worked out at 200. Even when I was climbing mountains or running down ropes, rappelling, doing the obstacle course, I mean, I don't know if my heart rate ever got to 200. Normally, when I was doing all the things, I was in better shape, so my heart was in better shape, therefore it didn't go as high as it normally would. You know, they say the big thing about how well a shape you're in is how long it takes you to recover. Man, we'd run and we'd work our ass. I mean, we would be dead stinking tired, sweating our ass off. We sat down for 5 or 10 minutes, and we kind of got our breath back. It doesn't take that long because you're in good shape, so you recover quicker. I mean, you know, if we just pushed ourselves a little bit and ran a mile or so, and I was the slowest. On our team, we did competitions in the Air Force. They get everybody in the Air Force and on who had the best, you know, each major command would pick all their best people, and then they'd send them to a major place, and they compete, and you get these little ribbons, and the commanders would make bets on my guys are better than your guys and everything. And so I competed with the AFLC team, I think 3 years, and then the PACAF team for 2 years. And then I taught a couple years after that the teams that came over. But I'm telling you, when I was on AFLC, the only thing they cared about winning was the obstacle course. And I'm not talking about some freaking, you know, shit you do at a police academy where you drag a body and you jump over a 6-foot wall. I'm talking about an obstacle course with like 23 obstacles, and you're climbing in big logs, and you're jumping, and you're going under, and barbed wire, and mud, and water, and swinging on a rope, and climbing up a rope, and down a rope. I'm talking about this obstacle course, and that's the only thing they wanted to win. And the way we trained for that is they just wanted speed. If you couldn't run, I think it was, the minimum was under a 6 minute, but nobody made it if they were close to 6 minutes. I was the slowest guy on the team, and I ran in the Philippines, in the heat, in freaking combat boots, a 5:12 mile, and I was the slowest guy on the team. Everyone else was under 5 minutes, and I mean, these guys, they were running. But you know what? We figured out over time doing those obstacles, you make your time up in between the obstacles. If you try, there was a couple theories. If you run really fast in between the obstacles and go slow, you would lose time. If you skipped or couldn't complete an obstacle, and nobody did because you would just get too much heat, man, you would get dogged. You couldn't skip an obstacle. But they had time limits, penalties, if you skipped an obstacle. So if you didn't want to do this obstacle, and the problem with that is people will time themselves. And if I get a 30-second penalty for doing this obstacle, and it takes me, the fastest we can do it as a team is 40 seconds, it's better if we skip it. So they had to make the time worse than the slowest guy doing the obstacle. So it wasn't worth skipping an obstacle. And even if you did, everybody would call you a pussy. I know that was back in the day. I don't know if you can call somebody a pussy in the military nowadays without freaking getting some major investigation saying you're a sexist, getting court-martialed, and it'll be the freaking on every front liberal page there is out there. But back then, we'd call you a pussy. And you didn't want, you know, it was a team, it was competition, best of the best, all that crap. So, but again, the thing with this group, they wanted to win that, and they wanted fast guys. They can work on technique on the obstacle. We can make up a few seconds on the obstacle, but if you can run and you could keep your heart rate up, and we won just about every year. We took first place out of the whole Air Force. But you know what? One guy slip up, trip, fall, whatever. I mean, your time wasn't done until everybody completes it. So that was one thing. And in this competition, they were shooting, and some guys, some commands, they wanted to take the pistol shoot every year, and they got a reputation. They always wanted to pistol shoot. And you know what? When they picked their team, they picked guys that could run the course. They picked guys that could do all that. But their focus when they picked their team were guys who could shoot a pistol. There was teams that wanted to win the long-range weapons, the M203, the grenade thrower. I forgot. It's an M203. I don't remember. It's the thing that sits under the. I don't even know if they use it anymore. The big tube underneath the AR that you slide out and you put a freaking round in there and shoot it. It's got HE and, you know, high explosive smoke, whatever, white phosphorus. It got all different rounds. There were teams that wanted to win that one, and that's all they practice. And of course, every team had to do every event. So you could stack a team to win whatever thing you did, and our guys stacked it for that. I was always a canine because I had a dog, so, and then all the canines would come, and me and my dog, I think we took second or third place. I got a ribbon or award somewhere in a box. But I mean, that was about the dog more than it was me. I mean, me staying out of the way of the dog and letting the dog find his stuff. So training as actual as you can, it's just tough. I mean, there's no right answer. Somebody tells you there's rarely an easy answer for a complex question. And when you get into guns and reactions and people and crisis and there's really no way to predict what's going to happen, there's not really an easy answer. You train the best way you can, you become proficient, you try and minimize your fine motor skills so you do minimum of those as possible, because those are the things that are going to deteriorate in a high-risk incident. You try to do as many gross motor skills you can, because those will usually continue. You develop the best muscle memory you can, so when shit hits the fan, you don't have to think. Everything becomes second nature, and when you aren't thinking and you're bleeding or you're getting shot or something else is happening and distracting you, your body muscle memory will take over and continue to do the right thing. That's how you train, in my book, to succeed. Now, obviously, the more money you have, the more shoot houses, the more you can shoot, you know, from a freaking rope, from hanging from a rope, from dropping out of life, jumping, shooting while you're flying down on a parachute. Obviously, the more experience you have, the better your odds are going to be that in a crisis, you're not going to experience something that you've never experienced. And that's pretty hard to do, because when shit hits the fan, you just can't figure it out. So training is one of those things that, look, there is no right answer. If somebody tells you, oh no, if you want to see it, you got to do this, this, and this, and my technique, and my this, and buy my video. Look, if you're buying into that shit, well, then you're a freaking idiot. I can't help you. And I'm not even trying to help you. I'm trying to help the people who want to understand the basic principles of success in high critical incidents. And experience is the best teacher, and if you can't get actual experience, because we can't go out there and shoot people just to prove that it'll work and experience what it feels like and all that, you just can't do it unless you're sent off to war, and then the guys that do it wish they didn't have to do it. So, I mean, we're preparing for something that we don't want to do, so there's that mental hurdle there that we have to get over, and you have to mentally prepare that, you know what, I know I can do this because it's my life or his, etc. So then once you get over that, when you do have to do it, you're not going to want to do it, and you don't really want to repeat it. But you know what? You got to plan to survive. I mean, and you do it the best way you can. And you know, whatever works for everybody is the key. Where'd that crazy cat go? Oh, there he is. He's over there. I don't know what he's up to. Where's he at? I lost him. He's right over there somewhere. Is that him? I can't see on this little screen. No, that's a pile of poop. There he is. I saw him move. Little shits out there. Don't you be bringing back no birds, boy. Alright, so hopefully that's a long way around. You know, somebody, go ahead. Here, let me predict a comment. I'm so freaking smart and good, I'm going to predict a comment before it happens. Man, that means I'm smart. Somebody's going to say, this guy talks too much. This guy's long-winded. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Wow. If those people post that, I am the smartest person in the freaking world, because I can predict the future. Alright, we'll end that there. Hopefully you got something out of it. Maybe we'll end... No, Smokey, I thought he was on something. I'd let you go over there and watch him in his hunting skills. You know what? He's a good mouser. You know why? Because he does it. He does it every freaking day, and he leaves me dead mouses with no heads everywhere.
That's why he's good at it. He's not good at it. Moki doesn't watch YouTube. I know some people like him. He's not a YouTube cat, okay? He doesn't watch YouTube. He doesn't get all his training. He doesn't run around with other cats talking about, hey, I know a cat that works with the SEALs. He doesn't do that. So, here comes that plane again. Yeah. So, all right, we'll end that there.